person has 360 homes, and even if it is difficult to find people there, it is necessary to keep revisiting. Street witnessing has not been effective because it is difficult to find again the people you meet. But the people in your areas all live there, and most of them will stay. When you meet good people, ask them if they have a friend who might be interested. It is not easy in the beginning, but it gets better once you get started. In the beginning, you must spend 3 to 4 weeks to find 3 people. This is the order in which to work. Go visit each of your 360 homes and pick out which one are positive A, not so bad B, and negative C. Then you will have 40 to 50 A houses, which you can visit every day. Out of those, choose 12 and then the 3 best to concentrate on. Concentrate on one house where you can go and live. This will be your home church. The first 3 very good homes are difficult to find, but after that, reaching out to 12 is easier. If you faithfully do that with lots of prayer and heart, finding 3 families in 40 days is not difficult. Within 1 week, you should be able to find a house in which to live. When visiting your houses, you can offer to help the people with some chore or task. If you meet a policeman in your area, explain to him what you are doing. I am witnessing to these people for the sake of England and the world. He can help you in some way. From morning until night, each of you must concentrate on witnessing. Think all the time how to bring 3 people in 40 days. By the time you visit your 360 homes, you will know who is a communist, who are good people, and what each family does. By the time you have been in your area for 3 weeks, you will be saying good morning to nearly everyone. At first, they may not understand what our faith is or what we believe in, even after you try to explain, but they will know that you are a Muni and a good person. Then they will begin to invite their relatives to come to their home to meet you. People in your area will talk about you to their friends in 10 other homes. We have a very friendly young person visiting our home almost every day. He's a Muni and very nice. If they all talk to their relatives and neighbors, it means that 3,600 homes will hear about us and word will really spread. There is a Korean saying, words which do not have feet can travel 1,000 miles. Even if people are not deeply religious, they will recognize you as a good person and word will spread. Do not witness so much in the streets because you don't know anything about the people you meet. A nice person who says he's interested may actually be a communist. This was our experience in Japan. Members witnessed and worked hard on the streets, but no one listened. If a person came up who said he wanted to know about the Integration Church, of course, they were very glad to bring him to the center. Such a person might stay as a member for some time, getting much information from doing jobs like typing letters and bookkeeping, but then go back to the communists. There have been a number of members like this in Japan who acted very dedicated, but then left. If you witness to people in their own homes, then you can know who they are, but on the streets, you can never tell. If people walk up and say, I am interested in the Integration Church, they could actually be dangerous. This is why, after long experience, we are going to visit homes. Witnessing is a specific area. Witnessing in a specific area brings a better result and is better for security. Those of you who have been members for 5 years, stand up. How many spiritual children have you brought in that period? Imagine how many people you could have restored In those 5 years, if you had visited people in your 360 homes every day. Our goal is to bring one person every month. If you visit 360 homes for 5 years, then chances are that all 360 homes can be restored. How did you work before? You went out on the streets, but in 5 years, you only brought 2 people or 10 people at most. This method has not been effective. If you visit your area every day, then in 1 year, you can make a relationship with every household. When there is a birthday, you will go and celebrate with the family. You may meet people in the parks, but most of them do not stay. And those who do often have many problems. You know that Abel type people are always busy and don't hang around parks, while those who have nothing to do go to the park all the time. We want to witness to the best people. We don't want 1,000 people who always follow a leader. We want one leader who can lead 1,000 people. Always think that you can find one man in your area who can lead all 360 homes. How can you say you are dedicated if you have restored only 2 people in 5 years? If you had married 5 years ago, you would probably have at least 2 children by now. When we are really dedicated, we should each be able to bring one person a month and 12 people a year. Even at that rate, in one lifetime of witnessing, we could each restore only 600 people. How can we save the world by restoring only 600 people? Even the leaders have only brought a small number of people. If some numbers bring only 2 people in 5 years, they will bring only 20 people in a lifetime. How can you expect to go to heaven if you bring only 20 people in your lifetime? This is a serious problem. You already know that your result has not been good. And this is why I am encouraging the home church concept. Starting tomorrow, concentrate on your area very faithfully. Within 7 days, you must be able to find one home which welcomes you. You can stay there, and then you won't have to come back to the center except on Sundays. Stay in your home church and witness from there. Every one of you must do that. But I know that not many people are confident yet. When the seminary students came, I chased them out the same day they arrived and told them that if they didn't find a place to stay, they should sleep in the park or railway station or go witnessing at night. You must do the same thing and try your best in the next 7 days to find a home which can accommodate you. Because you have had a center to sleep in and meals to eat every day, you came back and said you couldn't find any place for a home church. You could go on like this for weeks and months and nothing would happen. The seminarians have been out already for a week and will continue for several months. Starting tomorrow, you must look for a home which welcomes you and witness from there. You must be careful to follow the pattern faithfully. The leaders are the bridge between you and me, but I will also tell you how to do the mission. We must raise our standard very quickly and understand that this is a heavenly army, because in the future, we will have to fight communism, the foremost enemy of God in Europe. The Western way of thinking is very weak, and the communists will dominate that kind of person because they are much stronger. We must be aware of that and become equally strong. The communists are gaining ground in nearly all countries now. This is a serious life and death matter. We are in London, but we should not have an easy, comfortable life. How can you eat and sleep if you have brought only 2 people in 5 years? I do not want to be called father by such people. How can you say you joined the Christian church to help do the work? If you really think about God and His will, how can you be so weak? How can you sleep and eat if you cannot witness enough? How can you expect to be blessed You are not doing it for me or anyone else. You are doing it for your own benefit. Without having any spiritual children, you won't go anywhere in the spirit world. You must decide that you want to be intensely active. You only have your physical body for a short time. Do you realize that each person must win at least 84 spiritual children in 7 years? It is the fault of the leaders if you did not know this. How can they call themselves leaders if they do not make sure the members are informed? Who of you knows that we will be restored only by paying indemnity? If you don't pass your examinations at college after 4 years, then it is easy to fail again and again. If you try your best, your very best the first time, but you fail, then you are not encouraged to try once more. You may try your best to witness, but if you fail, then you lose confidence. If you get married and your husband wants to have children, but you keep putting it off, what will happen? You only have a certain number of years in which you can give birth to children. The principal way is very strict. That is why I had to abandon my own parents and relatives until everything was accomplished. Now you know that starting this morning, you must go strictly the principal way. Set the goal of bringing 12 people during these 40 days so that you can bring at least 3 of them. They must be people whom you can feel would protect you even if your life were threatened. You must love them more than you would your own children and raise them up as your most beloved ones, knowing their preciousness. You must be connected to them, not by thought or intellect, but in heart, so that you can live and die together. Now that you know for sure what to do, you don't need me anymore. Do you? Let us pray. Adieu.
Aju. Thank you very much, Mr. Record Ojugbele. Please let us appreciate the words of our true parents with a warm round of applause. It's now time to invite our sub-regional director to give his opening remark and the declaration. Please join me as we welcome Reverend George Ogurie.
Thank you. Thank you very much, MC Reverend Jeong Kanta, Nigeria National Leader. Thank you very much for welcoming me. Good morning, Mama Kathy, our Chowiwon co-chair, who is here with us. Good morning, our national leaders and other categories of leaders who have joined us in this night vigil, Jeong night vigil. All blessed Central family members, our youths, you're all welcome to this really very important event, this Jeong night vigil, which we will try our best to make into a tradition, something that we have to be observing every 40 days. We are using this time to kick off the 120 days witnessing condition in response to our True Mothers outcry of recent of the need for us to really be more serious with our witnessing and the task we have to expand God's providence, to consolidate the mission in our nations towards the task of realizing the restoration of 1/3 of our nation's population and 1/3 of the world's population by the year 2027. The time is very, very short. Our Chowiwon co-chair Mama Kati has been very inspiring and encouraging us to embark on serious effort such as this one in response to our True Mother's call. She's a person who is really very, very absolutely united with the True Mother's intentions, True Mother's desires, True Mother's heart. She's always monitoring and wanting to know all the time, what does True Mother think? What does True Mother say? And really make effort to convey that to us. We are very, very lucky to have such a person with us who is guiding and directing us in the right way, right direction, what we must do. And so this 120 days witnessing condition, which we want to start today, is really something I can tell you it is coming directly from True Mother's heart and the True Mother's desire that we do this. And we do this as sons and daughters of filial piety of our two parents. That's the heart with which we have to begin this condition. It is with the heart of filial piety. To do this condition, we are reminded of how our two parents have laid down their lives throughout their lives to pursue God's will and showed exemplary way. The speech that we just read, the start of 40 days witnessing condition in England, way back in 1978. At that time, most of us were not born. That is the time when true parents initiated the Home Church Providence. Home Church Providence was begun in England. This 40-day witnessing condition was really like the kickoff of that witnessing condition. According to the history of our church, according to the testimonies, and I think Mama Kathy will share with us and bear witness to that, all missionaries were called from all over the world. Missionaries had been sent out in 1975 by true parents to more than 120 countries. True Father's strict instruction to them at that time was that they should make sure that they stayed in their mission countries for 3 years, come rain or shine, come hell or high water. They must make sure that they stayed in their mission countries for 3 years. And they did, from 1975 to 1978. So after 3 years of staying in their mission countries, True Father called for that 40-day witnessing condition in England. Within those 3 years, some of those missionaries have passed through hell in their mission countries. Some of them have been imprisoned. Some of them were kicked out. Some of them suffered many, many incredible things. Anyhow, True Father called them to England to start a new strategy of witnessing. That's when True Parents started the Providence of Home Church. We choose to read that speech this morning because we want to really connect with the pioneering heart and pioneering spirit of our true parents. Even though today we're not at the time of home church, Providence have developed beyond the home church Providence, because from home church, we graduated to Tribal Messiah. And from Tribal Messiah, we further graduate to Heavenly Tribal Messiah. Home church is talking about restoring 360 home areas, taking 360 home areas and restoring them. Father talks about gaining 84 spiritual children during that period. Now we're talking about 430 couples to be blessed in order to become a victorious Heavenly Tribal Messiah and a Chombo couple, the jewel, the heavenly jewel, as True Mother describes it. You can see that over this period of time, there has been a lot of development in the Providence. We are at a new level in the Providence. However, we go back to that reading because we need to inherit the original pioneer spirit of our true parents. The most important thing that we need to bear in mind is that the strategies, the providence and the strategies of moving the providence forward is dynamic. At some point, people were witnessing on the street. And then Father says, well, now no more witness on the street. Go to the homes. Strategies for witnessing are always dynamic and changing. So that's something that we need to bear in mind. We need to respond to the realities that we find on ground. With the heart of parent, as True Parents says, we go out there with the heart of parent, but in the shoes of servants. That is always the heart with which we go out to do our witnessing. The heart of a parent, but in the shoes of a servant. It talks about sowing sweat for earth, tears for man, and blood for heaven. That's the strategy. With the heart of a parent, in the shoes of a servant, sowing sweat for earth, tears for man, and blood for heaven. absolute determination. True Father spoke about in that speech, we should try to bring, he was speaking to the people at that time, they should try to bring 3 people in 40 days. Well, the national leaders, to start this witnessing condition, have been having meetings, and we look at our reality and we say, okay, everybody we participating in this witnessing, let us bring 1 person only for 1 7 days workshop that will be held in your area. Everybody must be connected to a witnessing center where he has to bring 1 person per 7 days workshop. And within a 40 days, within this first cycle of 40 days workshop, 40 days witnessing condition that we are beginning, each center should hold 2 7 days workshops. And each person should bring 1 person to each of those 2 7 days workshops. Within these 40 days, we have 2 7 days workshops, and I have to bring 1 person, at least. True Father's instructions can get so specific like this, very specific. We need to do what we need to do to bring 1 person to each of the 2 7 days workshops that will be held within the 40 days. After the first 40 days, second 40 days, I bring 1 person for the first 7 days workshop that will be held in my area. In the center that I am close to, I have to bring 1 person in the first 7 days workshop. Second 7 days workshop, within that 40 days, I bring another person. Then the third one, and so on. So each person, we need to make our effort. You heard what True Father said there about how we need to be, how can we call ourselves members if we're not making any effort at all from month to month, from year to year? Nobody. Some of us, we're just not doing anything. In fact, not just some of us, most of us. If even some of us were doing something, witnessing to somebody and bringing somebody, we won't remain stagnant the way we have been stagnant until now. This witnessing requires much effort. True Father talks about, you saw how he explains about how we need to get involved with the people we witness to, try to understand their background, know where they come from. That's why sometimes we just witness to people on the street, they come to the center, we expect them to be coming to church every day, then we don't know anything about them. Nothing, we don't know anything about these people. The person may even be a security risk to us. We don't know because you know nothing about him. But most importantly, apart from just being a security risk, is that somebody that we don't know his situation, background, and everything. We can't really help the person. We can't really inspire the person. We can't really deal with the real life situation, real life problems that this person is facing. We don't really know how to help this person, really. That's why loving people, living for the sake of others, which is the basis of our witnessing, really means getting involved in this person's life. It requires a lot of investment. That is our business now. That's what we are all about. This kind of investment is necessary for us to be able to win people's heart and for our mission to grow, for people to come and stay with us and even begin to take responsibility. This kind of investment is really necessary. So therefore, this condition that we are beginning, this night vigil, we have to pray. We are praying that God should give us everything that we need, the strength, the wisdom, the sense of responsibility, the good health, the resources that we need. And sure, the resources will come. Yes, we have absolute good spirit out there. Many of us, we have been involved in ancestors' liberation. What is the role of these ancestors that are out there in the spiritual world? They are just waiting for us to move. And there is a quote, something True Father said, that wherever God sends us to do the mission, he already made preparation. So you and I ought to be looking forward to the people who have already been prepared to be able to receive us, to be able to meet us. And my dear brothers and sisters, we really need to go out, do this witnessing with great confidence. Let us pray and look for people whom God has prepared people. True Father spoke there in that speech that you need to find 1 person who can lead 1,000 people, not just 1,000 people who are there, but one person that can lead 1,000 persons. That's a great strategy. And those people have been prepared by heaven. So this kind of condition that we are making, we will invoke and break down the absolute good spirits to work with us. They are waiting really to work with us. And I can say that they have actually been very frustrated that we are not moving. We are not doing anything. They have been very, very frustrated. But if we move now, if we get moving now, you and I will come back after 40 days and we will give testimonies. We're looking forward to those testimonies of how the spirit world moved, how our ancestors supported us, and how we were able to find those prepared people. I'm sure that we will be able to find those prepared people. The ancestors, the absolute good spirits, they are the spiritual resources that we have. That's what we have. That is the heavenly forces. They are there. They are waiting for us. I can assure you that. So it is through this condition, these prayers that we are making, that we will be able to mobilize them to work with us. Okay, so our goal, this is when we have opportunity to make our 430 jumbo couple victors result. 43, those who have already become jumbo victors, this is a wonderful opportunity to go find your 43 people who can then help to educate the other 430 people. This is a wonderful opportunity. Heaven is really looking forward to us to be able to do this at this time. I don't need to tell you the decadent situation of this world as it is right now. The world is so decadent, so evil, more than before. Look at how, the school system, the general society, the level of individualism and selfishness is beyond measure. Look at what is going on. Family breakdown everywhere. The gay people, the lesbians, transgender people have taken over. They're taking over the whole world, everywhere. They're even educating our children. They have introduced these things into our textbooks. What are we going to do? Day before yesterday, I attended a conference here in Abuja, a conference called by the Christian Association of Nigeria. Very top level people, educators, bishops. I attended that conference. They are talking about how to establish Christian education in the schools in Nigeria. So I went to listen to them, and they are lamenting bitterly about the state of decadence in the country. But unfortunately, they don't have what it takes. They don't have the spiritual resources. They don't have the ideology. They don't have the teaching to be able to bring solution to the problem that they fully recognize very well. They analyze the problem very, very eloquently and clearly. So this witnessing that we have to do, what I'm telling all of us is that we have to do it with absolute confidence that we have what it takes. We have the solution. We have the answer. Our answer is across board. Now we are living in a mixed society. Not only Christians, you have Muslims, you have other people. We have the teaching that we'll be able to solve all these problems. But unfortunately for you and I, all these beautiful teachings of our true parents are lying on our shelves, are gathering dust in our books, in our bookshelves. We're not doing anything with them. And we are just going about doing ordinary things, looking for day-to-day survival. We have to seriously go beyond that, starting from today, starting from this moment that we are beginning this condition. So we will do our condition with the following prayer points. I want to read out the prayer points that we have to use for our condition. Maybe I should share my screen, actually, the prayer points that I have listed. But this is not an exhaustive list. I told everybody in the morning that each person should have his or her own prayer list. But this is a general prayer list which we can integrate into our prayer list. May I share my screen? Okay, so we should pray for True Mother's protection, well-being, and longevity. True Mother's goal of Vision 2027, through family unity and well-being, the unity and success of our international leadership surrounding True Mother, that's True Mother Secretariat 1 and 2, the unity and success of our African mission, our Chowi One co-chairs, regional president, Africa headquarters staff, the unity and success of providential organizations such as UPF, WFWP, and IAYSP, the unity and success of the sub-regions of Shin Africa West, the unity and success of the missions in Shin Africa, sub-region West, Benin, Ghana, Liberia, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and Togo, peace and calm in our nations, in the nations of our sub-region, for a conducive atmosphere for witnessing, wisdom, strength, and sense of responsibility to our youths and to all our families, indeed, in the sub-region, for us to be successful in our witnessing. Every other thing you can add unlimited number of things to your list. Even if it's specific individuals, specific persons you need to pray for, specific circumstances and situations you need to pray for, then add it to your list. Okay, so this is my opening remark for us to begin this witnessing condition. And another thing I want to point out is that we need to also begin seriously the Anshi Il tradition once in 8 days. The next Anshi Il will be on Tuesday, and we'll explain further about how we'll go about it. Okay, thank you very much. Let us continue with the program. God bless you all.
Please, let's appreciate our sub-regional director. I'm sure we've been able to catch up with the declaration content. In 40 days, we do 2 7-day workshops, and then we bring 2 guests. 2 is the minimum. You can bring more than that. That's the declaration. So in 120 days, 6 per person, not per couple. So that's the content of the declaration that we are making tonight. Thank you very much for that opening remark. Please join me as we bring on stage our Jeong One co-chair, Bamakati, to share our testimony with us. Please, let's welcome her with a warm round of applause.
Thank you, brothers and sisters. I'm grateful to be able to join together with you this evening for this launching of this new condition in your sub-region in Africa, Shin Africa West. I'd like to share with you an experience that I had as I came out as a missionary in 1975. My original country of mission was in Benin Republic. I arrived in Benin Republic on May 15th in 1975 and met my German sister and eventually my Japanese brother. And we began to live together in Benin in order to make a national level foundation by witnessing. All 3 of us, none of us could speak French. But anyway, we came together, we lived in we rented one house, and we began to try to find a way to witness in that kind of circumstance. Benin was a communist country at the time. And one day, every day, we would walk all the way from where we lived to town. We didn't have money for taxis or buses. We walked every day to check at the post office to see if there was any news from our true parents, father's speeches, and any kind of news that could help to give us direction in our mission. And one day while we were walking in the month of July 1975, my German sister decided she wanted to get her feet wet in the ocean. We were walking along the street near the ocean, and suddenly the tide came up and swept her away. And it looked like she was going to drown and die. And myself, I have no experience to swim in the ocean. But one young man came and he said, "Don't worry, I will help." And he dashed out into the ocean and he grabbed her and he brought her back. And that man's name was Pierre Humbeji. He was the very first member to join our movement on the continent of Africa. So seeing as how he must be a prepared person, I asked him if he could walk us to our home. He did. And then on the way home, in a very, very, very broken French and mostly English language, I tried to witness to Pierre. And it was not easy because Pierre, he didn't speak even very good French. He spoke Yoruba. And so I tried my best. And then I invited a friend living next door to us to dinner. She was from Norway, but she was married to a Beninese man. And so she spoke a very good French and English, everything. I asked them, two of them, to come to dinner. And then I taught her the divine principle, and she translated to Pierre. That's how he learned the divine principle. 2 months later, I was arrested by the Beninese government and put in prison for 2 nights. And then the day after that, I was brought to the border and kicked out of the country and sent to Nigeria. I spent just 2 months in Nigeria and didn't have a visa. So after that, I went to the Ivory Coast. So while I was in Nigeria for those 2 months, I asked Pierre Humbeji to come from Benin to Nigeria in order to listen to the divine principle in Yoruba. So in Nigeria, we were witnessing, and we met one man whose name was Peter. And Peter spoke very fluent Yoruba. So we taught him in English, and he translated into Yoruba for Pierre. But then I had to leave Nigeria. And so Pierre went back to Benin. And then I went to Ivory Coast and was going to stay there and work there. And so it was just the 4 of us missionaries. I was American. There was another American, 1 Japanese and 1 German. And we wanted to get a house together. We did. And we wanted to start witnessing. We did. But as I said, we didn't speak French. And Ivory Coast also is a French-speaking country. So I asked Pierre to come from Cotonou to Ivory Coast, which he did by road. Took him 4 days. And he came to Ivory Coast to study the divine principle more deeply. And then when he really understood that true parents were on the earth, when he saw the picture of our true father, he began to weep. He began to cry. And from that day, brothers and sisters, we could never stop Pierre from witnessing. Every morning he would wake up. We did hundokwe together. Then we had some simple breakfast, just 1 piece of bread and a tea. And then Pierre would go out witnessing by 8 a.m. And he would witness every day until 8 p.m. But we had to stay in the center because Pierre would witness, and then he would bring the people he was witnessing to back to the center. And we had to teach those people in very broken French. Can you imagine? Every day, Pierre brought 15 to 20 people from his witnessing to the center. It became so difficult that we asked Pierre, please don't go out this afternoon. Maybe you take a rest, because we had to teach and we were tired. But Pierre was never tired, never tired. He just witnessed with so much passion. And while he's witnessing, he's crying. He was shedding tears because he knew the Messiah was on the earth. And Pierre, even though his French was not very good, even though he was in Abidjan and everybody knew he was from Benin, people were moved by his tears. He didn't care what people thought about him. He wanted to save everybody's life by introducing each person to the divine principle, and especially to our true parents. I tell you, we came together in the beginning of 1 month, the 4 of us missionaries together with Pierre. And after 3 months, 100 members were living in this center. And every single one of them were witnessed to by Pierre Humbeji. 100 members moved in to our church and became full-time members. Many of those members are still members today. Many of them. So I know that if we have one key element in order to be successful, Father gave us many practical guidance in the speech that was read for Hundokwe this morning. But one of the most important elements, who knows? Anybody? Can somebody raise their hand? I can't see everybody because, but if you can raise your hand, okay, that's good. What do you think was the most important element that allowed Pierre Humbeji in 3 months to find himself 100 spiritual children? What was that element? Anybody? Okay, somebody in the family, Degbe. Is that you, Reverend Degbe? Please give me the answer.
Yes.
Oui, bonjour, Maman Cathy. Je pense que ce qui l'a plus poussé, c'est la passion.
Reverend Degbe said he thinks that the element which Pierre Humbeji had was passion. And Reverend Degbe is absolutely right. Pierre had passion. You know, when Mother was speaking recently on May 9th of this year, Mother said, we have to go back to the spirit and truth. Spirit is first. Go to the prayer room first. Pray first. Don't try to sit down and discuss what strategy you're going to use. First, go and pray. Pray. God knows what strategy will work for you. So pray, and then with passion, even with tears, you go out and witness and find the people that God has prepared. Suddenly somebody gets the feeling, oh, I have to go to the store and I have to buy some juice. And then you meet that person because God is pushing them to go out. Spirit world is pushing them. They are waiting, as Reverend Ogurie said, they are waiting for us. Our ancestors have prepared people. They are bringing people out every day and we're not going out. That's what Mother said. Mother's father said, what did he say back in 1978? How can you eat and sleep? Knowing that the Messiah is on the earth and not being desperate and passionate enough to go out and tell people the Messiah is on the earth. Only that way will we change this world. As Reverend Ogurie said, the world is getting worse and worse and worse and worse day by day. Gay people are taking over the world. Now people are changing. They are men, they want to become women. They are women and they want to become men. What will happen to the human race if we continue like this? People are killing each other. Wars are breaking out more than ever before. The world is going to hell, honestly, very quickly. We don't have much time. That's why Mother said, stop everything. Witness, 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 witness. When Damien Dunkley, the new regional president of America, went back after spending time with True Mother, he went to speak to the American membership, big meeting, inauguration meeting. And what did he say? He said, I know many of you have ideas. You want to come to me and say, oh, we can do this strategy. We can do this. Let's try this. He said, I don't want to hear any of it. I don't even want to think in my own mind, what is the strategy? First, we all need to pray. Let us go meet in the Chonchimwon and pray. Only based upon that prayer and God's guidance, we can now go out with passion and be successful. You understand? This is not to make Mother happy only. This is not to make our leader happy or to be recognized. It is to save the world. The world is quickly falling apart. Mother said the future of humanity is not guaranteed. If we don't witness and change this world, then humanity itself could be eliminated. It's very serious. It's not a joke. It's something we all have to understand and be clear about. So the only way to find the passion, which Pierre had, Pierre has gone to the spiritual world now, but one of his spiritual children has a doctorate degree and was teaching at the university. And Pierre didn't even finish 3rd grade. But because of his passion, because of his tears and his constant prayer, Pierre was able to bring that kind of person to serve and attend and love our true parents. So the only way to get that kind of passion is to do what? I'm going to ask King Tea. To get that kind of passion, King Tea, what is necessary? What is the way? You have to unmute yourself. What's the way?
to seek guidance from heaven
How do we seek guidance from heaven?
through prayers.
Through prayer. Every day, go and pray with passion, with tears, and then go witness, and you will find the people God has prepared. And you will have the passion to share this news that the Messiah is on the earth. Anyway, I know I can see some of you are very, very attentive. I keep going and looking at each one of you the whole night, ever since we started, those who have their videos open. But I also know some of you are very tired. Yeah, it's 1 o'clock or almost 2 o'clock in the morning. Brothers and sisters, don't sleep. You will regret it one day. This is a new beginning. I'm so happy that the West Africa subregion is starting this condition. This will become a foundation upon which an explosion can happen in West Africa. So please, please, please take this very seriously. Give it your whole heart and soul. And we shall see, if we follow our true mother like that, that this world will change. It will change, but not if we, Mother said, it is not the job of the international president of FAMFED, the international president of UPF, the sub-regional leader, the regional, no, it is the responsibility of every blessed couple to restore this world. That means we cannot, as Reverend Oguriye said, we're just going on, living our lives every day, trying to survive, going to our job or going to the cleaners and washing our clothes and taking a shower or finding water. But that's not going to save the world. That's not going to change this world. And when the world goes and dies, we die with it. So we have to now change what we are doing, change everything inside of us, lift it up through prayer, and then go out with passion and find the people that God and our ancestors have prepared, and they're waiting for us, they're looking for us, and we have to go and find them. I know it can happen. I witnessed Pierre Humbeji, a man with a 3rd grade education, and in 3 months' time, he brought 100 spiritual children to our center. If you want to know why there are so many members in Ivory Coast, that's why. It started like that. He made that foundation. One simple young man, he made that foundation. Yeah, we taught them the divine principle. We were tired. Sometimes we would beg Pierre, please don't go out this afternoon. I have a headache. If you bring people here, I can't teach them. But nothing could stop him. He went anyway. And we had to find a way to teach them. We even had to learn French to teach them properly. You understand? So just one person can change a nation. One person who has the Spirit of God, one person who really has a passion that God has in his heart to change this world quickly, can change a nation, can change a family, can change a city, can change eventually the world. So I'm grateful all of you came. There's about 400 people here tonight. I counted each one by one. And I'm grateful that you are here and that you have that kind of heart to do this condition. So please now start with prayer, sincere prayer every day. Don't do anything without praying. And that will give you passion, and take that passion out and witness and bring the results that our true mother. By the end of this December, the end of this year, we should at least triple our membership. That's what Mother said. At least, minimum. So Mother is looking for a big result right away. Not next year. No, no, no. 2023, by end of December, triple our membership. So we have a mandate. Let us go forward together. We are one family under God. We are brothers and sisters. That way we can work together with peace and harmony and be victorious for our heavenly parent and our true parents. Thank you all very much. And I think you are really people that God loves with his whole heart and soul. Thank you.